I admit I'm not usually that quick in between takes, but it was only 20 minutes and I was just talking. Why aren't these opening? What am I doing wrong? I got them upside down. Got a feeling the love lives are feeling tipsy-turvy lately. Did the same thing with that. Okay. It's been a while since I've used the love deck, but it is back because, yeah, I feel mostly clarity in my love life, I would say, but we'll see what the cards say otherwise. Really got San Bernardino stuck in my head. I was singing it literally once again right before I started. She lives in Mojave in a Winnebago. His name is Bobby. He lives like a potato. She's in love with the boy from the rodeo. Pull the rope on the shoe when they let themselves go. Yes, I haven't heard that song in so long, and it randomly popped in my head today. And then I have not been able to stop singing and listening to it since. And I wonder if I'm going to talk to Frank Zappa soon. That would be so cool. I am that dude. Okay. Best is way back. They can feel low. Out on a highway. Rolling away low. She's a tootsie. She's for real low. Trailer Park Avenue is a real good deal. Real good deal. Real good deal. I would, I don't want to take that too specifically, but if you are for some reason in San Bernardino and watching this, I would say that this reading would be a particularly special message for you. And also, if you do live in a Winnebago or otherwise trailer park, I would say there's something special for you. Or if you're just really into Frank Zappa, I would say it's something special for you. And if you're watching in general, I think it's special for you. Cancers. We were talking about Cancer season in the Just Chatting stream right before this, where I was saying that that's when you put things into practice is during Cancer season, but in a fun, chill, social way, like a Cancer, I suppose. I think we're good. We got a lot on the floor right now. This seems like enough. But it's funny that the Chariot is showing up because it's almost like nothing is going to happen until Cancer season, which honestly is, at this point, days away. I don't know what the fuck. I'll be honest. I will be honest. I don't know what fucking day it is. I do not know the date right now. I am pretty confident it is Thursday. I am pretty confident it is Thursday or Friday, depending on like where you are, right? Closer to Friday than Thursday. I don't know what the fucking date is. I know it's June, right? It's not quite the 20th yet. 15th-ish. I have no idea. So Gemini season is gonna end in like the next week, right? I think June 20th is technically the last day. Some people born on the 21st want to think they're Geminis, and I'm kind of down for it because the more the merrier. But Cancer season is probably going to be a significant time for your love life if you're not dealing with a Cancer up front. And it's funny because this was face down, but it's because I flipped it like this. I didn't actually look at what the card was, but I felt like that was me seeing it enough to reveal what it is now, and it is the Hanged Man. So it's almost like this back-to-back energy of like, here's the thing. Cancer aside, I am seeing the Chariot and I am seeing the Hanged Man, and I am seeing them literally back to back, right? And all that tells me is you've got an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. That's simply put, because you've got the Chariot is going this way and the Hanged Man is not moving. If you want to say this would be the femme, the divine femme, and the divine mask, just because of man and, you know, women being pulled around on cards sounds accurate. But it's not even going in two different directions. It's one person going and the other staying. And it could be something like travel. It could be like a weird kind of breakup energy where you're like, I need to get out of here. And they're like, I'm not giving up. Or it could be, again, physical travel for something where maybe you're in a long distance thing and you're like willing to go, but they are only willing to be where they are. And even though you're willing to go, you kind of wish they were willing to compromise because it's very telling of someone very early on in the decisions that can change a life. Sure, I'm willing to come to you, but actually I'd rather go somewhere else. So like if I'm willing to move, but you're not willing to move, I'm suddenly going in a different direction than you. That's basically this energy. So it's not the strong. I'm not even going to say that's like a bad thing. It's almost like you're just getting things. I mean, it gets it out of the way, I guess, for you to have this realization now, or you start seeing it again in this upcoming Cancer season, which I do feel like the heat can really bring out people's true colors for a lot of reasons. Because, like, for some people, the heat is painful. And when you're in pain, it's very easy to get irritable. For some people, it's like very exhausting, and same thing, you're tired and cranky, or you just don't want to do anything. Sometimes it can be really hard to think. You get super dehydrated without realizing it. Like, it can really throw people off. So it might be like, this person's acting so weird, but then they go and do something like that where they're like, no, I'm not willing to move. Like, I don't want to move. I'm not leaving. And you're like, damn. On top of all this other weird shit going on, I think this could be a deal breaker. I think I'm going in a different direction. I feel like this is less of a breakup though, and more for people who are not in a relationship. It's almost like somebody has come into your life and is this way, and you're discovering it early on before you get too involved or too attached. Like, that's what's interesting about it. It does not feel like a breakup, and it doesn't feel like anything super serious, but it does still give that whole immovable object, unstoppable force vibe for sure. So it's so weird. I never intentionally do a spread. I very much into the fact that every single one of my readings are different because I just let the cards fall as they do. But it's so strange how sometimes they just end up being symmetrical, where we've got two piles here of three. So two on top, one on bottom, reverse pyramids, and then there's a pile in the middle with all these on the side, and then one face down. And I don't know if it's upside down or not because of the pattern on the back. But, and then I have an assortment of cards on the floor. Which, if there's ever cards on the floor when I'm doing a reading, I think of that as the distant future or what's to come, rather than this is the present and the immediate future. The resolution, this is like the aftermath, or the, is it the prologue? Is it the end? Epilogue. The epilogue. Like, as the story goes. So we'll get those at the end, but sometimes if I leave them on the floor, I forget they're there and then I don't read them. So it's like, I should pick these up while I'm talking about it. So I'm kind of feeling like this pile should go first, but this one's all face up, so I'm going to do this first. And I think that could even play into what you're dealing with right now, where it's like, I really want to focus on this thing that I'm working on, right? Because the one card that is face up is the Seven of Wands, and you can see that he is literally plugging away at this shit, right? And the wands are very emotion, passion, fire, romance, right? You're like, I really want to work on this relationship, which we clearly have blockages, or these cards wouldn't be face down. However, there's this situation I need to handle first, you know? And the thing is, it's weird because, like, I don't want to call it a third party situation. The Three of Cups should not necessarily represent a third party situation, but it is kind of hard to ignore if we are talking about romantic relationships. And we do see the Three of Cups, and we see these three people partaking in a dance and a drink. it's hard to not get that energy, especially because above it we have the Seven of Swords, which is almost like the opposite of the Seven of Wands, which is where you're trying to be, but again, got to deal with this first. Seven of Swords, not trying to get it together, not trying to fix it, not trying to run away, not trying to anything. Right? And then the Star, Aquarius, but it's in reverse. And I understand the Rider-Waite. There's different meanings when cards are in reverse, and it's not necessarily just the opposite like it is with some of the other decks that I read. But since I'm reading, sorry, I've been shaking this table the whole time. I know, rainbow lights, gotta be irritating. When I read, I typically do jump to the reversals. I like reversals because I do feel like it's not about duality per each card. It's more with or without. And so it could be like something did not surprise you. The 11:11, maybe there was a third party and it like didn't really come as a surprise. You were like, "Yep, cool. You might have another person that you're feeling some type of way for," is the thing. You may have just recently walked away from an Aquarius. It could be that, like, you're missing the actual Aquarius and not necessarily the lack of surprise. But I am kind of sensing a third party situation that nobody gives a fuck about. It's almost like the three people in the situation are either like bored of it, have been doing it for so long, or like all need a change. To where it's almost like three people agreeing. It's not a third party situation. It's almost like three people agreeing. It could be three in the family, like you and a partner have a child. It could be, their ex or something, and you've been waiting for that blessing of like, we've been talking. I kind of want to take it in there, like, fine. It is a third party influence, but it's not necessarily cheating or anything like that. But for those of you who it is, you expected it, is the thing. It's not the third party kind of cheating factor is not for anybody who is unaware of it. This is something that did not come as a surprise and that you are not dealing with. You're just like, fuck it, like, I'm done. Don't care. This is not like an accusation. It's just that things are all coming to light. However, your person may have been entertaining a third party rather than actually, or even fantasizing about one, or just wants like the classic threesome dream team situation, or even like throuple. Could be any kind of third party. You get what I'm saying? But it's definitely there for some reason. And I think those are all really good scenarios as to why it would be there. Whether or not, if you are aware that someone has been unfaithful in the relationship, whether or not you forgive them is entirely on you, because it seems that you've removed all sort of emotion from the situation where you were just like, again, not surprised. And if this person, the third party influence, decides against the situation or the union, or even for it, or to be a part of it, or whatever, that also doesn't surprise you. You know how things are going to work out before they happen. You know what's best for you, even if you don't in a moment. So I guess what I'm really getting at, because that is a lot of scenarios, and you're like, oh, it's a general reading. It's supposed to be a little bit for everybody. I know who I'm talking to. I know who's going to watch this, even if you watch it tomorrow. That's just how it is. But I just feel like 1414 when I said that. No matter what the scenario is for you, you saw it coming and you don't care. And it doesn't matter who's there as long as you are, basically. Like, you are there for yourself. You don't care who's there for you. You don't care who isn't there for you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever has transpired in your particular situation with the third party, whoever that party is and however they are in relation to you and your partner or potential partner, it's not going to come as a surprise. You know the outcome. You know what it is for sure. For sure. whatever that may be, good or bad. So once that's out of the way, then you can go back to what you really want to focus on. That's the thing. I see it's not even emotional detachment. I just see this kind of like removal of the self from some of these connections right now. And I think part of it is this everyone was stuck in the house, right? For like 2 years, some people more, some people still in the house, like whatever. Um, I think a lot of us were so grateful for what we had or appreciated it so much. And then for the unfortunate people who were stuck with what they got and realized that it sucked, I think now that people are kind of finally maybe even processing the trauma of a pandemic that it could have on a in a communal way, um, people are maybe sort of going back to what they want. There was this period of like only necessity, bare minimum. I'm gonna make the best of what I got or who I'm with, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of not waking up to life as we knew it, but seeing life in this way of like, okay, that was scary as shit. That really showed me that life is so delicate. Maybe now is a good time to chase my passions. Maybe I should try to live out my dreams. Like maybe I ought to go for it. Maybe I do want that, So it's like you might be caught up in the situation you've been in for a while, but it's like whatever, things change or they don't. That's like all it is. It's like things change or they don't. And I think everybody's moving into that attitude of nonchalance again. Gemini season will probably be a little more in touch with our emotions and a little more introspective come Cancer season. My personal prediction, but also just the vibe. We're trying to get our passion back now. And it's not necessarily romantic, even though this is a love reading. This very much felt like the relationship was blocking the other things going on in life. Passion projects, dream career, like big moves that you want to make from the heart, burning passion. If you were here for the conversation, inner child, fulfilling the inner child. So, what's the blockages though? It's almost more a roadblock than a blockage because we're seeing this card first. And it's like, all right, so once you start working through that, once you start going towards that, what are these roadblocks going to be? What are the main challenges? Three of Swords in reverse. Dold. That's beautiful. That really, I don't want to say there is none, but that is fucking beautiful. Two of Discs in reverse. Holy shit. Sorrow and change, basically, in reverse. This is such a, it's not that I'm taking it personally, I'm happy for all of us. But this is such a moving message to really see that once you stop putting so much into another person or into the idea of a person or trying to focus only on love and relationships, you miss out on all this really great shit, right? And when you can finally detach yourself enough to appreciate what you have still, but also embrace that anything can happen, that's when you move into this ability to do what you want and to follow your passions and to go where your heart is. Again, not romantically, but physically, and like, and it just leads to happiness. It's just like that is the road. You let go of your sadness, and then it is over. It's this huge unblocking for some people, for those of us watching. It is. I mean, it's a very beautiful energy of like, wow, the big. I don't want to say the big payback. It's the big payoff. I think I've been hearing that phrase. I listen to tarot readings all the time to try to stay in the moon, in the vibe. Or just if I want to talk to someone there ain't no one to talk to, it's put on tarot reading. I think I've heard that phrase quite a bit though, is that it's about to be the big payoff. And it's just this really beautiful energy that I wasn't even expecting to see. Honestly, it seemed pretty grim from where we started, don't you think? We're seeing no stumble, force, and move logic. Cool, great. Anyways, to see the Three of Swords and the Two of Discs in reverse. The Two of Discs isn't necessarily a bad card either. Like, change can be awesome, but when it's paired with something like the Three of Swords in reverse, that's like really sweet, happy energy. That's like a lifetime of happiness comes from chasing your passion. If that does mean romance, then so be it. Thank you. I'm sorry you had a bad code day. If it is a person, you know, if you are walking away from a thank you, if you are walking away from a relationship in pursuit of someone else or something else, and that's really in your heart of hearts what you feel, now is a very genuine time. I said that at 2112 too. Speaking of 80s vibe, couldn't it just literally just now could not even think of a Rush song from the 80s, despite the fact that most of their music was made in the 80s. I literally was like, Working Man, nope, that was too soon. And then I instantly went, Roll the Bones. And I'm like, bitch, that's too late. What are you talking about? Focus, focus. Grace Under Pressure. Okay. Good energy at the end of the day. Not suggesting dumping anybody, but for singles out there, if there's someone who you've been trying to work something out with and take to the next level, then honestly, if they are showing some red flags, or signs of it's time to, then you should, especially because if you haven't already met this person, there is someone right around the corner for those of you who are not already in committed relationships. And then for those of you who are in committed relationships, I would say, once again, working through some of the stuff within the relationship will help advance other areas of your life, like career or even just creation in general. If that means like bringing a child into it, then so be it. But more career, dream, business, you know, doing your own thing, having the time for hobbies because you're like, hey, we don't need to go out every night. We don't need to do this. You know, putting up your boundaries even in your relationship. So I have some cards on the side. I do honor when the cards are on the side because I just think of it as like it could go either way. If it's the upright is with and the reverse is without, then it could go either way. This is the standstill. This is where or what is at a standstill right now. 10 of Cups, so pure bliss and happiness. Not quite yours, not quite there. Knight of Wands. Again, that passionate person coming in hot to woo you off your feet. Could be a fire or air sign with the masculine energy. The double masculine. I love those, by the way. Very cool. Thank you. It's quite the compliment to see them even. Oh yeah, I like that too. Thanks. I'm very much an alien. I don't think you were here for that part unless you've been silently watching longer than I thought. So yeah, happiness, everything you want and the person you want right around the fucking corner. And then there's just constantly like, oh, but you're so worried about money. You haven't quite secured the bag. You're thinking about, how am I going to do this and that? Where am I going to meet them? What work do I put in? Is it really something I want if I have to put in effort? Do I want someone who's going to put in effort to me? Guess what? That street, two ways. This is not some shitty downtown area design. Nothing but one-way streets, 25 miles an hour. Love is a superhighway in space, full of ships and meteors and stardust and vacuums and shit. So there's no good direction. It's no bad direction. It's all free floating, chaotic and magnetic, probably, usually, and you could always find something to be grounding. Kind of didn't really seem like what the cards were saying, but it felt right to say, so I'm going to honor my space analogy. Exactly that. Exactly that. So at the end of this indecision, where you're just like, again, on the precipice, I've been loving that word. I feel like since Aries season started, it's just been like resonating where it's like you are on the precipice of something. But it's been a few months since Aries season, right? It's like, oh, we're getting into, it's almost Cancer season. First quarter of the year is almost over because we base this on the zodiacs, not the calendar, right? Who the fuck decided a Christian calendar should be the ultimate ruler of what the fuck day it is? Why do you think I don't know the date right now? Thank you. I don't know what you were referring to, but that's precipice. Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I'm like hyping it up. But we're about to close out that first quarter with Cancer season, but oof, oof, oof. So this card behind all this indecision, we have one card face down, which means it hasn't happened or hasn't come to surface yet. But in the reverse, so again, without, it's justice. Don't love that. I think justice is technically the Libra card, right? No indication on here. I think justice is Libra. So if you are trying to make things work with a Libra, I'm going to go ahead and guess it ain't working out. No offense. I'm so sorry. If you are a Libra, I'm going to say you're the problem. You know? If you want this happiness, this passion, blah, 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 the Libra is not the one, or you are the one preventing yourself if you're the Libra. Otherwise, justice, it's like, here's the thing. What were we just saying? Love is not a one-way street. So you're waiting for someone to make a move. They're waiting for you to make a move. No one makes a move. There it goes. No justice is served to the situation. You know the passion is there. You know the connection is there. What do you do? What do you do? Justice must be served. Or, rather, inaction means justice will not be served. That was pretty cool. I liked that a lot. Definitely go back and watch it later if you want the full thing. I can definitely pull more cards. I have the Sexual Magic deck I was going to do a few of, but I don't show those on here because it's literal sex. So I'll just be giving you like sex advice if you want from the tarot cards, obviously, not just from me though. That's my lane. That's my bag. Yeah, I can straight from the dome. AMA. Although I have better platforms for that kind of thing. Jesus Christ, where are we going with this? Sexual magic. It's who I am as a person. I am a chaotic sex glitch witch, probably. What I would say. Anyways, see, they dipped. They were like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" I thought she was doing tarot. I am. So once again, that was a love reading, more romance, relationships. This is purely physical, these cards. And again, you will not be seeing them. I am but a humble squirrel. I am going to show you what they are, but I will tell you what you need to hear based on which cards come out. They're very graphic. If you want to see them, you can pay for a private reading. This is the second time a huge stack came out, so I guess we're just going to honor it because it happened twice and I don't want to keep shuffling. Top of the deck here. Ooh, the devil, of course. He's just literally holding a dick. Yeah, that's basically what the devil is. I mean, are you pulling your dick out right now? Because that seems absurd. Again, better spank material than this, weirdos. The devil is horny. The devil is horny. He's holding a dick. So, in this scenario, in this deck, the devil can be Capricorn, yes, but the way that I'm seeing the devil, I don't even think I'll tell you what the cards are at this point. I like that the devil was first, but this is a, shall we say, if we were doing, yeah, it's freaky magic here. It's freaky magic everywhere. If we were dealing with the divine relation or storyline, like we often kind of lean into just for back of letter, lack of better analogies. Like I'm not super into the idea of twin flames. I'm not extremely attached to it, but I do feel extremely connected to the divine, so I don't mind using the phrases divine feminine and divine masculine. I love Enchanted Forest, so we're gonna do that scenario to make this easier to talk about. The masks can be the men, assigned male at birth. None doesn't matter about gender, but it can also just be the air and fire signs. Whereas the femme, same thing, can be woman or assigned female at birth or earth and water signs. So that's the precedent. All I'm drinking tonight is water, like on the street. I usually have coffee or tea or something, or alcohol. But okay, so the divine masculine is coming from this place of ego and has been for a long time. Kind of fucking shit up, maybe being a little possessive, maybe getting a little jealous, maybe being a little too hands-on. But he's finally taking a step back and investigating his own ego, if you will, where he's like, maybe my shit's not that sweet. Maybe I actually was being kind of mean. Maybe I am a bit of a selfish twat, right? The divine masculine is like, damn, I maybe did fuck up. Yes, I probably fucked up. I admit I fucked up. Well, not admitting it yet. Admitting it to the self, right? Holding his own dick like, damn. Yeah, that was rough. Okay. He comes right in for the fucking feminine. That's what this is you better go back to her, proverbial her. If you're the fire sign and they're the water sign, guess what? I'm just saying, worship her. It could be even the feminine is in a bit of a depression, staying in bed a lot, not wanting to do things, kind of avoiding you. You were taking it personally. You finally stepped outside yourself, realized maybe it's not all about you all the time. Maybe you haven't even been into this the whole time. That is kind of where I'm at too. I am very much breaking my attachment, especially when in relation to other people. It is for me less with possessions, although it's less over time. Yeah. For me, possessions have always been important because they're more permanent than most things in life, which is fucked up. And also I almost said the memento theory, the inception theory. I love totems. I do. I'm pretty bad about that. And the funny thing is, like, I don't spend a lot of my possessions, so like, it's not a material or wealth thing for me. It's like a physical thing. Yeah, I'm an earth sign. People say Tauruses are materialistic, and like I said, I don't really splurge like that. If I'm splurging, I still bought it on clearance, or like got it somewhere. So I do find it very grounding to like hold things. But I think the divine mask here has been holding on to some thoughts more than things. But yeah, so the femmes are been kind of like not feeling great, not really up for the challenge, not really trying to change anybody's mind, be anybody's mother, babysitter, etc. So it's about the masculine coming in towards the feminine, and that's on everything. Like, it is simply their turn, your turn, whoever it applies to. It is the masculine who needs to come back to the feminine and make things right again. Yeah, and then she'll be feeling herself in no time. Almost too much. That would be the difficult balance where you're trying to heal your own ego. We just had a near life experience. What does that mean? I love it. Tell me all about it. Better than a near death experience. But healing the ego of the masculine should not lead to the rise of the ego of the feminine, although the classic twin flame journey or the divine union journey is that it does take a lot, and it is a lot of back and forth, and so often it's unresolved, and it's the one who got away, and that's oftentimes how this ends. So if you are not super careful, the masculine finally is vulnerable, comes down, breaks his walls, only for the femme to rise up and build them. out of a state of power or whatever. That's really cute. Um, so when she comes back to the masculine, she's not quite feeling, she doesn't feel the same. He's almost lost interest. Where it's like, man, I know I was a dick and I probably deserve this karmically, but at the same time, I don't want you to be this way just because I was this way. Is it revenge? Is it pettiness? Or is it just the natural ebb and flow of these difficult relationships? It's very hard to say. But she comes on stronger when she's feeling more confident, but it's still coming from an ego driven place where, oh, this man changed for me, right? This masculine changed for me. I have the control. I was right. And it's like, woof, femmes, do not let your ego balloon just because his did. Just because his is now deflated doesn't mean yours should become inflated. We want the egos at a balance. You want enough ego to be conscious, okay? Because to blame everything on the ego, I think, doesn't do psychology any justice. It's really the super ego that needs to be destroyed. Ego in itself is just consciousness to the level in which humans are aware of having, okay? The superego is the excessive overindulgence. And the it, of course, is the absolute survival necessities, right? So you have to have a healthy balance of each one. But the ego is not the enemy so much as it has been told. That's all I'm saying. That's so funny your Mars is in Scorpio because my Pisces is in Scorpio. I'm sorry. What did I just say? My Pisces is in Scorpio. No, my Mars is in Pisces, so I can relate. And I'm a Scorpio rising. Could you tell? Little bit you could. Now that you're thinking, you're looking at me like, oh yeah, that makes sense. How else could I rock a middle part? Just kidding. I bet a Libra rising could too. Anyways, the ego is not necessarily a bad thing. It is just consciousness. It is the deliverance of thought. It is communication and language. So you do not have to completely destroy the ego. Right. I don't like it either. It is literally psychologically textbook the super ego. That's the one that seeks more revenge or whatever. Gosh, I don't really always love Pisces energies. That's so funny. Pisces are definitely in Scorpios. Thanks. I don't always love Pisces energy. And it's funny because I was wrong about my birth time my whole life. And I've been saying I'm an Aquarius moon, but I was born when the moon went from Aquarius to Pisces. But honestly, the birthing process is so long. I'm still an Aquarius moon. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. So, yeah, once again, Femme comes back, comes on really strong, kind of drives the masculine away. She doesn't know why, nor does she care. And that's sort of, again, the problem with these relationships. And at some point, it doesn't really say how they come back together here. We are seeing some radically different pictures where they are facing away from each other. Look at the way that I've been sitting still for literally an hour, and I'm getting into this right now. They were facing away from each other, and then all of a sudden they're back together, but he is at her feet, like groveling at her feet. And she's just kind of barely paying attention to him, but it's also the world. So it is the card of things working out and being in your favor, but maybe admiring her from a distance is always what it was meant to be, especially if it's going to be this constant back and forth of super ego checking, right? If y'all are just being greedy, wanting too much, being excessive, See, but then this is weird because it just, like I said, it kind of jumps out. Oh, you know what? It's a different lady, maybe. Could be somebody else where you try to go, you're like, okay, I can't have her. I give up because then the next scene, she's orgasmically being fed fruit, right? So kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, so you're trying to woo her again, and it's like you just can't stay away from each other kind of energy. where it's like, I thought I could just sit here and admire you and be your friend, but now I just want you back so badly. I will do anything, and let's do all these romantic things like have picnics and blah, blah, blah. But then, once again, the fluctuating back and forth storybook is that, okay, maybe it becomes more of a physical relationship, physical relations over a romantic relationship, and that leaves the femme feeling like, man, looking back, I think I was kind of an egotistical dick, right? Because the egotistical, still not great. Ego, not a bad thing. Egotistical, not so much. Right, so even though she kind of turned away, didn't care, he came back for her and everything. She's like, damn, it's really not what it used to be, is it? And it's my fault. So now you go through this cycle again, where like first it was the masculine who had to be like, damn, I was a dick. I need to do things right. I need to make things right. And then it gave the femme so much confidence that she started being the dick. And it's like, oh my God, are we just going to go back and forth forever? Yes. Chances are yes. That's kind of the thing. Oh man. Oh man. Hate this card. So moving on from it. That's the thing. Reflecting on, wow, it's really not what it used to be. This physical connection is fun, but it's not completely satisfying. I think it's time to move on. Otherwise, we're going to go back and forth forever. What's the point? Next scene, I've been doing Rosa 4. So this first one, it's literally the femme. It's very typical of like these really, I want to say spiritual connections. I feel like I'm quite polyamorous, so I'm very confident in my relationship and my love for my partner, but also I do feel like I still have these random attachments or whatever, where you feel it in your gut, you feel it in your soul. There's just such a variety of lovers that you can have, and there's so many connections to experience. Oh shit, right. That does sound like this, yes. Where I think the more intense it feels, the more difficult it is, right? So even though you might really like her, it's still not working out. You just can't quite figure out why. It's just some relationships are meant to be this way because you might even be serving up karma, right? Maybe you didn't deal with a karmic before you met this person, and now the karma's coming back to you because you abandoned the karmic when you were supposed to heal things with them and close things off, complete them. And that can oftentimes drag out this process. I've had someone pop in my head recently that I'm like, man, I don't never want to think about this person again. It's not even gonna say. Some fucking mutable energy, right? And I love me some mutable signs, but man, when there's too many of them, one of them's gonna cross you, right? And I wonder, even though it seems like sometimes there's nothing we can do, right? And so in the very beginning of this reading, it was like the not wanting to approach each other energy. But what happens if you have no way to approach someone? That can be very complicated. I just noticed y'all were following me, by the way. Thank you. It's not really like that. You just get to kind of listen in and take what resonates. So the back and forth energy, not knowing how to contact someone, it's like, what happens when you think about someone because you know you got to take care of that shit, you know you got to fix that shit, how do you do it if you can't just reach out and say it? Does it mean they're coming back? That was a thought I had where it's like, please stay away from me if that were the case, right? This tragic virgin or whatever. But at the same time, maybe it's about finding that in yourself, being able to resolve it within, maybe addressing some of the things that were undone at that time outside of the relationship and shit like that to move you and your person closer, right? So again, if you're serving up karma in your new connection because you didn't quite end on the right notes in some of your previous connections, sometimes the only way to heal if you don't have contact is to just do things in regards to that time or that person without them being in the picture. So the femme just moves on. Femme moves on she's literally getting fucked by someone, and the mask is coming back ready to literally. That's why I said I don't. This is not like I'm not trying to get a ban for these cards, okay? Nah, he's for real about to just swing at him, but like, which like, a little too personal, but that's okay. She's just getting fucked. She don't care. Nobody sees it coming. It's coming up from behind. You about to stab a man in the back because you're jealous that you dropped it. You dropped the ball. You let her go. You know, she's not the one. Y'all decided to walk away and not give a fuck, and now you're mad she's seeing somebody else. Come on, that's some unresolved shit if it isn't. Um, but then we have the femme kind of coming around, getting dressed or undressed. It's hard to say. And she's getting dressed. The mask is there, giving it a chance. He shows back up angry. It feels very passionate. It feels very important. It feels like, wow, you really missed me. You really want me. If you're really willing to put up a fight for me. So she's vulnerable towards the masculine once again. And all of a sudden, the masculine's sitting at the table, the magician. Thinking about, is this really what I want? Once again, back to square one. Have things changed? Is it going to be different this time? Right? The masculine immediately trying to take all control. Right back. Come on, man. But, have some faith, right? Because at the end of the day, you already manifested this. You already did the magic to have met this person at all, to have felt this way at all. So if it is what you choose, then so shall it be. Because there they are making out once again under the sun. Oh, it is the sun, right? And that's it. And then death. Scorpio. Oh, shit. There you go. Death is the Scorpio card. But it's also like the femme presenting death card. I don't think I've seen the death card in this deck ever. I ain't even gonna lie because I don't recognize it. I don't use this deck very often because of the graphic nature of the cards. But I've never seen that. It's beautiful. Very Kali inspired. Yeah, right? So that's crazy. So it could be that, you know, these hard times are coming to an end for some. Like it works out best for everyone. It seems like these two people or this relationship does stand a chance. But it could be that, you know, just on some whack shit, it just, the process starts all over again. You never know. It's like, how much work are you putting in and how much, yeah, but it shouldn't feel like that. Like it is kind of like that. That's like the whole thing with these connections is that it does feel like a high level chess game. But why do you want to play games at all with the person that you love? No one really wants that. It's really about figuring yourself out and helping each other do that in the process. What? It can be, sure. I'm all about intellect, but I'd rather just have a conversation for my mental exercising. But that's because I'm a philosopher, I think. And a romantic. I'm all about grand gestures of love. My Aries is in Venus. But so reverse of this woman alone in a room. Yeah, I see the femme definitely coming back to you. It's whether or not they stay. And it's dependent on how much you're putting into it. Yeah, it is really like a roller coaster. Cool. I'm putting the sexual magic away. It seems like I've got kind of a different crowd than when we started. I really just have these two decks. I don't know if I might have my Thoth deck somewhere. Actually, I do have my Thoth deck somewhere. If you want me to do more general stuff rather than explicitly love readings, but I can draw more of these if you want. Don't want to be too overzealous. I don't want to say too much about anybody's. You know, you can always look back and watch the beginning of the video if you want the whole love reading. Um, I hear you on this. Philosophy is a grand rabbit hole. But I prefer black holes, and I think philosophy is more science than fantasy. Black holes over rabbit holes. That's actually high key my life's motto. What do we think? Do we want a little bit of general reading? Should I grab the thought deck? I definitely do have it. It's just not on this table. Do we want? I feel like the thing is that's why I get so burnt out on the love readings, because if you do too much, it's like we're just talking it to death. And I even when I'm talking to my clients, because I do, I'm good at what I'm a romantic. I'm good at what I do. So if you're needing a little more than just like a general reading, and you need a little more in depth work on dating and your love life and working on these old wounds, then hit me up. Go look at my website if you need more details. Bro, I don't know who's saying that. Bruh, what? Nobody says that. I don't know who you're talking to. They don't love you. If so, who said that? Anyway, when I'm talking to my clients, like my love clients, I tell them the same thing. You can't overindulge in guessing what someone else is thinking or feeling. Where it's okay to discuss it and talk about it, but you can't go too in depth. So, if y'all want to do more cards, I don't think I should use the pink deck anymore. I'm gonna grab the thought deck. Please be patient with my BRB screen. I'm gonna go grab this deck and we'll do some more. Okay? So, okay, BRB. I'm back. Hey. Okay. Got the deck. Also, forgot that I put this in here. Gift from one of my aunties. New moon, heathen moon, some kind of oil shit. I'm sure it was bought from a small business, knowing her. Love it. Gemini season. She's a Gemini. She's giving me gifts. I'm like, love you. I'm just gonna put some on. I love that. And also, I bet we all forgot, and not just me, that there was some future cards that we were supposed to get from the love deck. So I'm glad it happened like this, where I walked away and came back, because even though I didn't leave them on the floor, still fucking forgot about them. Man, this shit smells good. Oh, that's nice. Highly recommend. Okay. I question myself on why I'm always smoking when I do this, because I am so cognizant and speak so nicely when I am sober. But I hesitate, and I get I think too much about what I'm saying, and I'll stop myself and kind of like babble about how I didn't mean it, I didn't mean it. And I notice that if I just get a little stoned, it just keeps me in the flow and just subdued enough to just let it happen, instead of try to backtrack or backpedal on what I'm saying when it's supposed to just be a channeled message in the first place. It helps me not stop the process. So. I still have San Bernardino stuck in my head. I really want to talk to Frank Zappa now. That'd be so cool. But honestly, like, he was such a interesting person that it's like, would he even be fun to talk to? It wasn't fun to play with, right? I don't know that for sure, but you know, you've heard the stories. So we have these cards that fell on the floor earlier, and I picked them up and I said, this is the future. Could be distant future, but not like so distant where we're talking 20 years from now. We're just not talking about like in the next week or even in Cancer season or even this summer, maybe next year or just in the next few months, kind of distant future. Or fuck it, 20 years from now. It's however you see it or where it fits in your timeline. She's in love with the boy from the rodeo. Okay, so 6 of Pentacles. Seeing financial success, being able to feed people, you know, because you're well fed. That's good. Okay. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's so hard to see these on the camera because they're so shiny. They're like metallic. We got the 7 of Discs in reverse. So you've let go. You've stopped working so diligently on something. Not in a bad way, but in a way that you're like, you know what? I'm in a good place. I'm successful. I'm comfortable. Nobody around me is hungry. Like, I think I can chill. Like, I don't think I need this second job anymore. I probably don't need to be working overtime. I don't need to extend myself so much. And I think that's a good place to be. 6 of Swords, getting people out of there, man. That's what I'm saying. You're in this distance future. Manifest it being sooner for you. You know what I mean? Again, a few months ain't so bad. This fall would be a good time to see some good transitions and settle into winter, get used to it, and then pop back out in the spring. But you will be in such a good place, both financially and mentally. And I want to say physically, I feel like there's going to be a big rest from some of the more physical work that you do if you are more labor skilled than anything, where you're going to have the energy to kind of like be a hero and to rescue others and to help them find their healing path so that they can start that journey towards their better self. Okay, it's not that you're a healer even, it's just that you are guiding people to their path of healing, right? You don't have to do the work for them, and it's not that you need to possess a skill. It's literally just that you have the energy to carry this, or to carry them, so to speak. It's very beautiful energy. Yeah, back to 4 of Discs, back to that, I got it, it's mine, I already have it. Some may see this as a bit of a selfish card, but honestly, he's self-assured. He's showing, he's not hiding what he has, but he's letting you know it's his. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's power in my decks. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, a very stable, secure place. If anything, the future right now, all we see is money. We're not even looking at love. We know that if we are financially set, we'll be able to handle anything that comes our way, basically. We do have the Page of Pentacles in reverse randomly. Where, like, yeah, these small bill days are over. These paycheck to paycheck days are over. This whole thing you've been doing, this person you've been, this life you've lived, where, like, broke mentality or just, like, living in one of the many impoverished areas in this country or world, right? Finally coming around the bend from that. And the Wheel of Fortune, yeah, literally. Scarcity is ending. That is so fucking cool. I love that. And what a great transition into the Thoth deck, because that had nothing to do with love. That's what I was saying. It's like your love life is going to be less and less pertinent in a sense. And definitely not in a bad way, because it's good to work, it's good to play. Can't do either one all the time, right? Love that. Oh my God, I love that. I love angel numbers, especially 444. I shuffle my decks every time I use them, before and after, during. I'm not pulling any more of these. We already well established that. We were lucky enough to have a few that were already pulled. Shuffling them to put them back. And bottom of the deck, Reverse Magician. I love that. I'm going to look at the top. reverse Knight of Swords. Same energy. Same energy. Here's the thing. If we are this Magician in reverse, think of it less as fake magic and more like, no, I've already decided. I have already manifested this. I've already chosen this. I've already put in the work to this. This is what I'm doing. This is how it's going to go. This is what it's going to be. And then to see the Knight of Swords on top in reverse is like, yeah, I'm no longer putting in effort to things that do not deserve my effort, and I will no longer be overextending to the things that I am putting my effort into. A little evil eye. Love that. Seeing at everywhere. The evil eye. Oh, that's where my fucking clothes are. God damn. And bad country. Okay. I'm glad we did this because I thought those were fucking rocks. I want to fucking smoke one of these, but I'm not going to right now. I'm just going to smell it. Oh, they are so good. Okay. Anyways, glad I found those. I'm going to use this lighter right quick, especially because I got it from a Pisces, and bottom of the deck is the moon, which is the Pisces card. Any Pisces in the room? Anybody dealing with a Pisces in the room? We're transitioning out of the love readings now, if you didn't already catch that. She's in love with a boy brown. I feel like I keep singing the same lines. Does somebody literally work at a rodeo? I mean, somebody's got to work at rodeos, right? Pose a rope on the shoe when they let those suckers go. Hopefully it's just a different audience every time I keep singing the same fucking part of that song. The rest of the life in San Bernardino. Anyway, not focused on love readings as much anymore. This is going to be more situational. So Queen of Cups, definitely mother energy. I was just about to say it could be family, could be work. I have a separate deck for like work, career, and finances and whatnot. But I don't have it with me. I haven't used it in a while. I almost brought it too, but something I just didn't feel. I feel it. I was trying to figure out if I had just sneezed or if I was about to sneeze, and I almost asked if I sneezed, and it's probably because I just was like huffing the clove cigars. I don't know why else I would have been sneezing. That's so weird. Somebody's sick? I have a cold or something? Listen, if you are having, if you've been sneezing, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I'm saying particularly, you already are. Yes, it's allergy season. Something's wrong, though. You might be sick. You should stay home. You should stay home tomorrow. If you need to call your boss and say your tarot reader told you to play hooky today for spiritual reasons, you can. Thank you all. I have not sneezed. I don't think at all today. Can't remember last. I think like I was sitting outside a couple nights ago and I sneezed. I don't know where that came from. I wish I would have counted. I don't remember the last time I sneezed that many times in a row. I'm like 3, 4 at the most. And I'm out. I'm done. Usually 1 or 2. That was uncanny, bro. That was really weird. I'm like, sorry. I almost kind of need to go blow my nose. Y'all are gonna have to wait. That was a lot of sneezing. Like, what was that? Again, like that was definitely a message, and I'm not pointing fingers, but whoever started talking, well, YouTube been talking. I'm looking at you, Bad Code. Not gonna lie, because you said I'm a Cancer when I started sneezing. So either you're lying about being a Cancer, or you might be sick. If you had plans, here's another perspective. If you're not having symptoms and you're not feeling sick, if somebody recently blew you off saying that they were sick and you didn't really believe them, it was true. They were sick, or they at least thought they were. Legit though, I need to BRB because I need to blow my nose now. That's How did I know that? That is so creepy. Thank you for the follows. I will be right back. You might think they're gone and lonely, but you're wrong, 'cause their love is strong. Stacked up hair and a cheap little ring. They don't care, 'cause it don't mean a thing. You know, stuck in my head today. Maybe Frank Zappa's gonna come through sometime soon. Okay. Best I can do is whatever's in front of me. So I actually got a few things done while I was gone. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for still being here. I realized my phone, not my phone, but my laptop was dying. I had to plug that shit in. I was running low on water. Needed to get more of that. Maybe the sneezing was a blessing, and gotta remember to take breaks when I'm doing this shit, because it can be very exhausting. And then I don't love sleeping for 10 hours straight afterwards. So I love when a natural break is fit in. Yeah, I don't either. It's not about time. I've just been going for about hour 30 now, hour and a half. So it's just good to like get up and make sure I'm drinking enough water and shit. You know, I had to get an ashtray for when I repack this. I apologize. I'm getting back into it with you before I just jump into the cards. And I had to blow my nose twice. It was weird. It was like the tickle would not go away for a second. It was strange because it's literally like done now. It's definitely with you, I think. That's so wild. I would say that you have some particularly good messages going on in here. No wonder you're here. No wonder it's relatable. No wonder you're Scorpio, Mars people, or whatever, you know. But I'm seeing a kind of a new direction. Once again, the love reading was for the love deck specifically. The Thoth deck is the first deck I've ever had. You know what? I am about to load up this bowl, so I'm going to tell you all about it. You're having a hard time picking a strain of weed? Can never remember which one I like, so I would just go hybrid. You know what I mean? I like the ones that like that's the thing. I like weed. Oh, it was 11111 when I said I like weed. I like weed that gets me hype physically and gets me going creatively, you know. And I think that's sativa, because indica is like the relaxer, the mellower, the chiller. I guess I have different moods for it as well. Isn't that a brand though, Cookies? Or when it comes to strains, back in the day, like I don't even know. People just give me shit. Lately I've been smoking beautiful home grow. That's like, I want to say GMO was one of them. That was really good. Stunk. It was fucking dank. But then I also got like my classic favorites from when everyone was really into strains, like back when it first was like right before it became legal. I feel like all my friends were getting into like what strain everything is, because we were just starting to get a taste of the good life, and then Michigan was like, whoa, we better legalize this now. But yeah, when we were into it back in the day, I feel like OG Ghost Kush is one of the only strains that like really stands out in my mind, and I think I have been chasing that high ever since, because I cannot think of a time that I had it again. I've had OG Kush, and I've had Ghost Kush. I've not had OG Ghost Kush since then. You know what I mean? It was like one of those. It was almost like a like a super group. So stupid. I think White Widow is definitely not overrated. Is it really? That's so funny. Like I said, that was way back in the day. I was doing all sorts of things and probably needed to mellow out, if you know what I mean. And that's why I liked it. It's because it got me to like a normal place when I was zooted. I am retired. They're my rave days. You get me? Yeah. So that makes sense that I liked indicas more back then. Like I said, I don't care, and I prefer hybrids. I don't even know what this is, though. Like, people most of the time just give me weed. So it's like, thank you. I don't give a shit what it is. Thank you so much. Cool. And if I'm going to buy it, give me a good deal, and I'll buy it. Great. From my wonderful trusted sources in legal obtaining, obviously. Anyway, that's so funny. That's a potent indica. Like, yep, that checks out. This was definitely way back when. Love that for myself, and then I just admitted it on Twitch. That's hilarious. That's why I like sativas more. because about the strongest drug I do, I think, is caffeine. Or my Tylenol 500s. That'd be nuts. Kind of would love that, though. All right, smoke break. Success. Took me longer to fucking pack the bowl than hit it. Sometimes it's the beauty of weed, is to get your fingers in it. Love that. And yeah, it probably did rhyme. I am naturally a poet because chaotic good bard. Anyway, Thoth deck. I use for situational, so it can go in any direction. It might bring up some romantic relationships, but the whole reading won't be about that like it will be with the love deck. Familial stuff will often come up in this deck. Life decisions or like personal issues will also come up in this deck. Sometimes I'll get channeled messages with this deck because it was the only one that I had for a long time. And so sometimes I'll still, if I don't have the other ones and I've got messages that are coming through, then, you know, that'll happen too. So what I'm seeing up front and foremost, we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is water energy. We got Cancer and Scorpio placement. Yeah, a necromancer. What do you think that means, bro? I think tarot reading is based on intuition, but I am a medium and I channel mostly dead people, but also just general spirit and definitely aliens. Basically Fox Mulder. And I too was cursed for the photographic memory. So, yes. I am the necromancer. But the Queen of Cups is water energy. So, like, we have a Cancer and we got some major Scorpio placements in here. But it's also the most mother card in this deck for me. The Cups family, I feel like this little hit of weed that I took, and same weed I've been smoking all day, got me very high. And I don't know if it's because we're talking about the good old days or if there is definitely some messages. You're saying, ooh, do you work with spirits? Like, somebody is coming. I don't know that it's going to be Frank Zappa, but it would be so cool if it was Frank Zappa. We'll get there. We're going to talk about the mother stuff first because we've been talking about our inner child, but oh my God, mothers of invention. Are we going to talk to Frank Zappa? I don't even know what he would say. I don't even know that much about the guy. I've never even heard him speak. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. I'm trying to do a reading, but oh man, I couldn't get San Bernardino out of my head. Okay, Queen of Cups and the whole Cups family is very familiar. I lost somebody in my excitement about Frank Zappa. But good, you know, you shouldn't be here if you can't embrace every side and projection of me. Because it is literally a platform in which I showcase myself, so if you don't like it, really move on. Queen of Cups, mother, because the whole Cups family, I know I keep repeating this part because I got a little distracted when I realized something was coming when you said that. And that's how you can know the difference. You can tell by where I'm looking. You can tell by what I'm doing with my hands. Hello. You can just see it's different. It's a little less, it's more fluid and less interruptions, less goofiness, you know, sometimes with an accent. But I'll usually say if I'm going to channel somebody or something. Anyways, I'm going to try to do the Thoth reading. Actually, I don't know. What's the vote? Should I just try to do a channel message and forget what the cards are? This will be the starting point, or do you want me to draw more? We're talking family. No resistance. Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. And just keep singing Frank Zappa until Frank Zappa shows up. It's like, the thing is, there's so many different ways that, man, you were one of my first, no, are you new, Tone D? Were you on YouTube? I recognize your name. I don't think that I've seen you on Twitch before unless it was when I first started. But your name is standing out to me like I saw maybe you tuned in to me on YouTube a long time ago. Anyway, thanks for being here. But the way that they present themselves, or the way that I know if a specific person is talking to me, okay, well, welcome, um, is I will either hear them, feel them, or kind of see them. It's more in my mind's eye because I have always believed in ghosts, even when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, it was like I never wanted to see them, and I made that very clear a long time ago. And it's been very far and few between that I've seen actual apparitions. But when I do this on the regular basis that I do, and I can kind of contact anyone, there's been a few very rare instances where people like don't want to talk and will only say a little bit and then just be done. But when it comes to the celebrity or the famous kind of connections, there's no way for me to verify that, obviously. But I have done enough personal readings and gotten enough 100% feedback that I feel pretty confident in it. It's not lost on me that I could just make things up, like but some shit comes out so smooth. It's like obviously there's something to it, because like there's no way I'm that good, right? Like, oh, some of this esoteric knowledge, the things that John Lennon has taught me that he could not teach me in his life, in his legacy, in his music. I hated it. I hated it, hated it until he came to me in death and solidified my gift that I think that I've was kind of obvious had my whole life, but was unable to use, control, or obtain until I got older and could understand it and was ready for it, because again, I never wanted to see apparitions, and oh man, I've seen some stuff. I love that I did bring up John Lennon randomly in Mothers of Invention. Maybe this will be channeling. That's so funny because I hesitated on grabbing my Halloween Oracle for this little getaway, and I decided against it because I used them last week, but last week I didn't channel anyone specifically. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm really glad to hear it. I really am trying to make out what the fuck that means, but I'm glad. The Eight of Discs is Prudence. And yeah, I didn't like the Beatles until like literally a couple years ago. I think John Lennon had to come down and show me himself. That I did see. Oh God, it was wild. He had to really show himself to me for me to even try to like the Beatles. I don't really know why. Well, I have my theories on why, but again, there's no verification there. Dead guy, I don't know. But I agree now that yes, Beatles made beautiful music. Prudence, dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Oh, and it's Pride Month. Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? So we think of Prudence like prude, like, oh, she don't put out, she's a prude. But Prudence is really staying true to the self, and it's about aligning with what you want and what you do. I can honestly say I have no real idea. It's more like that stuff only came up because I was doing readings and it came up. It's not something I don't research or like look into things very much because I think it's more organic if I don't. So anything that I might say about that, listen, I'll tell you a personal story because I don't have a lot. I don't have anything for you because, like I said, I don't do research. I learn over time, and I haven't quite learned that yet because I started as at one point. There's somebody I do think is my twin flame. I ain't gonna lie. And I think that again, there's so many different types of love that you experience in a lifetime that maybe not everyone's meant to be with a twin flame, or maybe it's not meant to be total partnership. I've accepted that this could be so many things, but I got annoyed at this connection that seemed to not go away even when I cut it off or ignored it or pushed it away. And I fucking said one day, like, fuck it, I'm making a spell jar. Like, why are you popping up in my dreams? Why are people asking for me? Come on, like, kind of leave me alone. And I made this spell jar into this whole thing. I don't really like blasting my magic on the internet. You can privately ask me and also pay for a recipe if you want to, but I didn't go through with it. I totally fucking backtracked and reversed it. I let it sit for months and months. It got blocked. Somebody who I told them what I was doing, and they were like, "No, I'm not letting you do it." And even though they didn't know this person, they just were not comfortable with the magic aspect of it, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. It got blocked, and it made me sit and think about it. So I debated for months and months if I was still gonna go through with this ritual. I decided against it, and now we've gotten essentially nowhere. So we'll see. It's still, this was all very recent. Like I said, very personal story. This is all happening live. This is like, I was only doing this a few months ago. I was only finally trying to cut this cord with someone I've known for 10 years and never really known, but felt this kind of back and forth, because you know how it is. And I'm so caught up in my lovers, my soulmates, my friendships even, where like, that bullshit bothers me. I'm not into the back and forth. And honestly, I realize where my own back and forth energy is coming from because I have my own, and that's me doing the work, me doing the healing, and hoping the shit resolves itself. There's really not much. Again, like I was saying earlier when I was doing the reading, is like fixing things around a situation if you cannot fix things with the person you are trying to detach from. That's what I mean though. I think the twin flames, some people just think they're never meant to be. And I get that. That's why I was never that into it. And honestly, I wasn't fond of the way that my life made me feel the person who I thought was my twin flame was my twin flame. I was like, nah, that's not really what I'm trying to, what? No, thank you. And that was inherently the issue from the beginning. And so it does seem to turn karmic if you can't get on the same page, where it's like, you have not learned everything that you're supposed to learn before you met this person at the time that you met them. And that's why it turns karmic. I actually recently, you know me as Millie, but I recently decided that I was going to tell everyone to only ever refer to me as Earl, because I am in this, I am hoping for my redemption arc, and I'm trying to go in the footsteps of Carson Daly and fix my karma myself. Okay, that's where I'm at. My name is Earl. Jason Lee's birthday is the day before mine. You are really not that young for being 99 anymore, but in my mind I was like, oh my gosh, 1999. It's like, girl, it's still the 90s. Come on. We're all the same age group now. That's really cute. You gotta look at the little things. What do you mean by that? Yeah, it can be triggering at times. That's part of the relationship. That's part of the whole point, is to trigger you. And that's why it's like, the less work you put into yourself or your life or your other relationships outside of this connection, the worse the connection feels when you finally get together. When I met my supposed or my suspected twin flame, I was very young, which was from the get-go something I didn't like, where it's like, I don't know, I've never been super interested in dating or being in relationships. So especially when I'm like late teens, early 20s, it was like far from wanting that. That's it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's almost like you can be blind to people's flaws, and then you meet the twin flame and you suddenly cannot turn a blind eye to their flaws. And it's like, wow, I accepted all this bullshit from all these other people, and yet you are the one who's pissing me off the most, where I don't even, it's a deal breaker. Even though everybody else already did that to me. It's a deal breaker for you. And it's like, why can't I be forgiven? And sometimes it takes forgiving the fact that things don't work out and not forcing it or wanting it to, but just wanting it to be peaceful or civil in a sense that you can at least move forward rather than breaking it. Yeah, or it's like you lived with someone messy for a really long time and you grew up in a messy house and everything is messy, but then you meet this person who's messy and it just was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back. Like, no, not another single messy person. And they're like, man, you only attracted the messy version of me because everything in your life is messy. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what? I don't want it to be messy anymore. So fuck you. Fuck this mess. And it's like, mess was there before I showed up, but okay, and that's where it becomes the super ego battle of I don't need you. Well, I don't need you either. And that's where the reflecting comes in and it becomes the egotistical instead of just ego conscious. Mm. Yeah, and part of knowing what you want is knowing who you are. And also, part of knowing who you are is knowing how to get what you want, in a sense, where it's like, not that your whole identity should be wrapped up in a career, but it does, for some people, give them a sense of self to be able to identify with something that they do. I'm a philosopher. I like thinking. I'm in the abstract school of thought pretty much all the time. I watched Inside Out recently. I live in there. I change dimensions all the time. I hope that's not a spoiler. I hate spoilers, and somehow, no matter how much I talk about X Files, I refuse to spoil it for anybody, despite the fact that it ended 20 years ago. I'm a fucking dweeb. Um, sometimes abstract waves, abstract shapes. Sometimes you do gotta let stuff go, and you do gotta let stuff slide. And part of what I realized in what I'm saying it too, I didn't even think about this. Where I was telling you this personal story about my own spell jar and bullshit, and then we were using the cleaning analogy. Where I was coming to this point in my life where I well, I'm trying to fucking write it down anyway. Write a book, write it down, write a book. I'm a writer more than a reader. Reading is quite frankly more lucrative than writing for someone like me, who is a fucking freak and hates everything professional, corporate, etc., institutionalized. I'm good. Free form writing, not freelance writing, right? Um, See, that's interesting. What's the LL for? Is that supposed to be an LOL? Um, I've had my experience with psychedelics, obviously, but it's been a long time since I did them, and I think the major lesson I took away from my era or phase with those things, especially lysergy, but it was that it was so it was obtainable without. That was my end goal. The whole time I started was to do it, understand it, experience it, see it, and then recreate it without. That's why I spend a surprising amount of time sober compared to how I realized that no one's ever really sober. Obviously I'm mostly Cali sober, but I know people who cannot skip the wake and bake, right? And because yeah, yeah, I stay in a pretty therapeutic state. I also lash out and get angry. That's what I was saying. I recently realized that in the past few years, I realized I have PMDD. You can look it up. We're not going to get into it. It's period stuff, quite frankly, and everyone hates talking about it, and yet it continues to rule my life ruthlessly without help or sympathy from anyone because they don't want to talk about it, and there's no real way to stop it or help it. It's great. And yes, you can say, did you try this? Yeah, trust me. Talk to a lot of people who deal with the same thing. And yes, collectively, we've tried everything. Please leave us a note. But I realized that I was in this cycle where I always well intended, but I would have these fluctuating hormones and chemicals, right? And it would be, yes, it's rage. Yeah, I don't know if you've moved on with me or if you're still talking about psychedelics, but I have this disorder that makes me. It's not a mental thing; it's an endocrine thing, and it makes me ragey, cagey, fighty, magey. Very powerful, intimidating being. But then I come down from the hormones, and I'm like, why are people so afraid of me? And they're like, oh, no reason. We're not afraid of you at all. Like, what are you talking about? Because they don't know when it'll happen again, even though we damn well do know when it'll happen again. But for a long time, I didn't. And so I've been reflecting back on like all these people, relationships, devastation, destruction that I've left in my wake of having gone through this fucking cycle I didn't know about until it was pretty much too late. And I was like, man, I should try to make amends. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was the bad one. Maybe I should apologize, right? Put my best foot forward. And so I was trying to like make amends with people. And I'm pulling it back. Don't worry, because you're like, where is she going with this? I'm going straight back to my twin flame, where there was so many things that made me just never want that again. I literally was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Didn't do it. Did not make the decision to reverse it until I realized that I was giving a lot of people second chances by revisiting connections and wanting to rebuild bridges and being willing to say I am sorry for what I did. And yet I wasn't giving this connection that same energy. Everyone's messy. Why can't their house be messy too? Basically. So that's what made me kind of like, that was the karma point, I think, was realizing how many people I'd wronged and how I had to make up for so much lost time and how I was in this whole thing. And I realized, man, I can't give this person the same courtesy. I think this is my twin flame, and well, I'm a Taurus, and that's the thing. I don't fucking buy it. Listen. Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio are the fixed signs. And people will say the fixed signs are the most stubborn, but honestly, only if you are unevolved or if you really are willing to die on the hill. Maybe Leo, I don't know. I get the stereotype that I'm so motherfucking stubborn, and I am triple fixed. Taurus Sun, Aqua Moon, Scorpio Rising. These two, right? Taurus, so stubborn. Scorpio, so vengeful. Fucking whatever. You are mad that I remember what you did. You saying, oh, why are you holding a grudge? Is you wanting me to forget. And just because I remember does not mean I'm angry about it. It does not imply any certain way that I feel, right? I simply remember so it does not happen again. Stop calling that stubborn. You are borderline gaslighting at that point, right? Right? Oh, it's funny you brought that up because it's something that makes me so mad all the time. It has nothing to do with your statement. Other than, Leo admitting that they're so stubborn. I'm just, fuck it, I remember. Y'all have your little physical receipts? I got a photographic fucking memory. Try me. I'm going to remember what you did because I will not let it happen twice. I will give you a second chance, though. Big gaslighting. You have been so quiet this whole time, and you're like, I can't be quiet no more. Or you just came back. I don't know. Blair's right. That's what I mean. Where it's like you can't just brainwash people into like, let's pretend nothing ever happened. Like, what? No. Like, again, I don't have to hold a grudge. I don't have to have feelings. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, oh, that nothing ever happened between us. It is a hell of a bitch. I would not curse my worst fucking enemies with this photographic memory. I don't really even have enemies to curse, but I'm just saying, like, wouldn't wish it on anyone. Truly. I feel like I'm insane all the time. For fuck's sake. You have no idea. I've only been blackout so many times in my life, and there's things that you might need to jog my memory, but once it's there, I'm like, oh yeah, because I just pull it up. I think it's time travel. I have no idea. I'm running out of well, I'm running out of reasons as to why I'm not running out of space. You know what I mean? Like, just infinite memory bank. Am I traveling the line? I also see the future. I'm a psychic, right? It's all divine. It's just time. It's the same thing as space, but on a line. So, yes, it rhymes. I'm a bard. I already said that. That's crazy because I have been so fucking curious about that actually. Like, what's the alternative? Bro, shut the fuck up. I remember the first time I do everything anyways and I just revisit the memory, but that is fucking hilarious. That's like fucking, I don't even want to say what show it is or what album because I hate spoilers this much, even though I'm referencing something from literally 20 years ago. But, wow, that's crazy. But, I wish that I never listened to it just so I could listen to it again for the first time. Like, that's me. Just kidding. But that's crazy. That's crazy. Aphantasia. So it's like Fantasia, but the opposite. Aphantasia. Because Fantasia would be like having tons of visuals in the mind. Right, right. Crazy. You just don't see anything? That explains why people dude, I get frustrated sometimes because I'll be like, you don't remember, but and I can literally just pull up the whole, like, I remember the entire layout of where I lived until I was only 4, and you're not even really supposed to have memories from that, you know? And that's what I'm saying, where they don't go away either. But I did actually go out of my way to practice remembering things as I was growing up. And it makes me wonder if I was learning how to deal with my memory or if I created it. It's a monster. That's so wild because sometimes my dreams make me feel like I didn't sleep because they are so real and they are so exhausting that sometimes I dream, wake up, and I'm like so tired that I have to keep sleeping to either one, finish the dream or just regular sleep. Like my dreams are so intense. I'm sorry, we got derailed from the tarot and the channeling and stuff because I am very interested in this conversation right now because, yes, there's no winning. I'm sure that this isn't the most pleasant thing. Yeah, that's what I do. Oh, you want me to do it for you? We can try that. Um, I definitely also think in concepts, and sometimes if people are talking, I picture the words. I guess no, it's still pictures for me, but sometimes I see words instead of pictures. So goofy. That's what I used to do in church. Is I would just be like, I went to Catholic school, so I would just be sitting there and like, just like blank mind and just focusing on each word. Um, I don't even know why. It was almost like I was practicing instead of paying attention. Where I was trying real hard to hold on and not fall asleep, but I couldn't do it. And I wanted to be honest at the time, I think, and didn't want to leave the room, so to speak. I do a ton of lucid dreaming. Ton of it, always have. That's what I'm saying. I've been practicing this shit since I was a kid, though. I would always try to fucking. I remember the first time I flew in my dreams because I still was at my elementary school. Because oftentimes when I was dreaming, I would be in my fucking uniform and at my school, and I'd be like, what the fuck, man? I spent my whole day there. I do not want to be here right now. Like, I want to be somewhere else. And that's how I learned how to fly. Flew away from the school. I was just like, fuck it. So I was probably 8 or something, and I was teaching myself how to lucid dream and practicing my memory, I guess. What's a Jung saw? Was that a typo? Jung? Oh, Jung is a person and saw dreams as the psychic's attempt to communicate important things to the individual. I've meditated since I was a kid too. I used to envision patterns as I was falling asleep. I also do want to add, I have been drinking coffee my entire life. I have literally been on caffeine since I could drink out of a cup, which is extremely young. And I did not know that coffee was an adult drink until I was an adult. Talk to other adults. Oh, yeah, I realized that's why I was like, wait, it's Jung. Man. Sometimes same, but not very often. It's got to be some pretty extreme shit for me to actually have paralysis or out of body stuff. So it's funny to think that my lucid dreaming is just like me avoiding the truth or something. I always, and I think I feed the beast too, where I do agree that you come up with things. I've had that's the thing. I have dreams and I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I should probably not trust that person, or like, wow, I really like that person, or oh, I'm gonna hit them up because I wonder if they're thinking about me too. I definitely listen to my dreams, especially when I remember them. I practice things in my dreams. You know what I mean? For some reason, I'm often running on all fours, if you know what that would be an interpretation for. But also, again, I just push myself. Where I'm like, let's fucking do this. It's crazy. It's like I exercise and shit. I don't know. I love it. I've always loved it. I also get, ooh, I love that. That's really pretty. I also have a lot of nightmares that comes with the hormonal disorder, to be honest. I know a few people like that actually. Do you have a penis by chance? Yeah, I have a lot of fucking nightmares. The only high school dream I ever really liked is the version of my high school where there was still lockers in the hallways, but the floor was a river and you had to paddleboard your way through the halls. It was the coolest experience. And there was one time I was good at math. I had a dream I was good at math and I was back at high school, but it was like, fucking killed that shit. It was awesome. Or created it, really. But yeah, school dreams are not typically great. Um, yeah, what a great dream. The nightmares are really I mean, I've had nightmares where like I was haunted by that shit for a week and a half. It was like I was traumatized. It was a Holocaust nightmare, and it was fucking insane. I think I was talking to Anastasia, which had nothing to do with the Holocaust, I know, but just the idea of her escaping and only to run into a war. Holy fuck. It was just, oh man, it was the most intense, graphic, sad dream I have ever fucking had. And it shook me for weeks. I still remember it. Obviously, it's just not as traumatizing to think about it at the time. Oh, I was devastated, man. That was almost worse than anything in my real life. I do write them down a lot of the times, but sometimes I just can't. I just go through phases where I'm dreaming a bunch and then dreaming not as much, and then will dream but not remember it, or I go through phases where I'll randomly start writing them down, but I have too many. Holy fuck, I have too many. And if they're not, I feel like if it's not a lucid dream, I don't remember it. This isn't really tarot, but it's a very interesting conversation. I've had some of that happen when I was like awake. Do I know you? Because I actually, when you say that, I've heard this story before. No? No? Coincidence? Could be that Shiva visited you both. Well, it's crazy that you have this, glad we had this conversation because I have been really curious about these two subjects coinciding. And it's crazy. I didn't even start this conversation. I really thank you both for like inquiring or like stopping to talk about this, because I was not starting to think, but it's like, it is almost like not anesthesia, the sensory stuff, where like it's such an active mind that yeah, sometimes things look orange or feel orange, I should say. Like I don't know how to explain it. I taste things if I look at them or smell them. It's like a taste that doesn't exist kind of thing. But it seems to just come with the territory, and it does seem like I am the boy with the ever enlarging brain sometimes. But we all know what happened to him, so hopefully that ain't me. Cheers. It's not anesthesia. That. This is what I'm saying. I've been working on the techniques for lucid dreaming since I was 8 years old. Falling asleep envisioning patterns would be the first step, or I was literally dimension hopping at 7 years old. Okay, that's my best advice, is to envision patterns while you are falling asleep. I used to do it all the time, and I have no idea why, but I have been lucid dreaming my whole life. It's that you don't even need anything, meditation, nothing. I just literally needed help falling asleep and wanted to entertain myself because I probably watched too much TV as a kid. What the fuck does that mean? You mean in my dreams? I'm so sorry, but that came off so fucking weird to me. Probably wasn't as weird as I made it. I'm a week out from Sarah Paulson dropping that mixtape. I apologize. I gotta fucking stay off the internet when I'm aggro. Sometimes it does feel like astral projection. Honestly, I think recently I've been figuring out exactly what it is to astral project. Oh man, I have had waking fucking nightmares about that shit. I'm not even sure I'm totally comfortable going into detail about that because I am so dead ass serious about that fucking particular subject. To be honest, I'm working on telling it in a reasonable way to not sound like a conspiracy tinfoil hat person, but at the same time, the metal's already in my head. I don't need to wear a tinfoil hat. What? I am almost still slightly confused. Yes, it's so interesting that it's like, that's weird. All I've got is a conspiracy, same. I never considered that. I'm like, I thought you didn't dream, and then it's like you're having these really interesting dreams. I'm having a hard time following the conversation almost. That's so. I've had a lot of like ritualistic dreamlike states, but I wasn't necessarily sleeping, and that's what's interesting. That's some stuff I don't really talk about though. Like I said, I don't want to go there right now. I'm working my way to talking about certain experiences that almost seem more like abduction than dreams, right? mm. I'm like really just doing spells and dreams. It's just like resonating with me now. I'm like, huh, never considered that. The funny thing for me is that I do a lot of my magic at this time of like midnight morning hours, whereas other people are mostly sleeping. And I wonder if that's why my dreams are the way they are because everyone's so often awake when I'm sleeping. Or I feel like the later in the morning I sleep, because I've always been kind of a night owl. Um, that's interesting. But I was fully awake, is what I was saying. Like I don't have alien dreams. I'm awake for the shit. So it's two different conversations for me. Um, yeah, I've had some weird ones. But to think to use magic while you're sleeping, I don't know that I'd really want to do that. I feel like even for someone who's lucid dreaming like I am, because for a moment I kept reading it because I considered it for a second. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I said, because I'm doing so much magic when everyone else is sleeping, it almost makes me wonder if I do it. Whatever, I'm not going to say that. Um, I'm not sure I trust myself sleeping necessarily. If I lucid dream and still can't fully control the room, even if I can control myself, then I imagine my magic wouldn't be perfect. I agree, that's why I smoke weed. But I also like to be conscious and take myself to altered states, I think. Right, that too, that too. I'm trying to sleep. I don't get any sleep anyways. I definitely, the thing, okay, so here's the thing for me. I'll be honest as to why I feel this way. There is a very particular reason I feel this way. I once had a dream that someone did witchcraft to me, and I think in the end it backfired on them, and I walked away clean. Just saying. Just saying. Don't know if it was a dream for them too, but the way it comes off, like I'm holding it back because I want you to do your thing. This is my witch finger blessing it, letting you do it. I realize like that's why I'm like hesitant. That was all. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a bold thing. And I think I'd have to say that if you're not like a sleeping witch, you're definitely a chaotic one, right? Same. I don't know if you were here for that part. Sexy, chaotic glitch witch or whatever the fuck. Alien space bitch. Fox Mulder, FBI. I say that like way too much. So what's up? Oh, definitely that Holocaust one. Well, no. Oh my God. You want to really know? Who are you? Are you baiting me right now? You swear you don't know me? This is like the third reference you've made that's like, who is this? Oh, fuck yeah. I have had like, I read that as panic attacks because I have definitely felt panic in my dreams before. And that's not fun and can feel so real that it's like, is it lucid if you in real life lose control when you have a panic attack? So if you are in a lucid dream and have a panic attack, you just as realistically can't control it. So bad. Uncontrollable sobbing in my dreams. I often feel, excuse you, I will tell you the fucking craziest dream I ever had, but it's also a touchy subject for me right now because I'm feeling very emotional about it, as it was 10 years ago that I had this dream. And I woke up and found out that things were a little more real than I wanted them to be because part of it was a nightmare and the other part was a blessing. And so far, life's just been nightmares with a lot of gratitude. But not quite the dream, right? That's interesting. This conversation, I feel like it's like dream interpretation does kind of go hand in hand with tarot, right? And I love that we had so much of the love life conversations too. That honestly, if y'all are not pressed about these damn cards, we can shoot the shit about this shit all day long. It's very rare I get to talk about this kind of stuff because it, like I said, I've been practicing since I was young. Like, I love this shit. I literally think I'm a time traveler because of it, because it's just like, why can I just pop into a moment and it's part of the memory. It's like I just literally go back. Why am I getting into this? See, this is the tricky, this is why I like to stay on track actually, because I've revealed too much. This is a Twitch stream. We're 2 hours into a Twitch stream. There's like 2 of you here. And I'm like, oh no, don't tell anyone. It's gonna be on the internet. Anybody can fucking watch this shit. Will anybody re-watch a stream for 2 hours? Questionable. Sometimes I just say too much. But also, Gemini season, not holding back. Taurus, ruled by the throat, saying what needs to be said. So comfortable saying shit to other people, but not about myself because Scorpio rising, secretive. Secretive, secretive. I love, oh my God, I almost said I love you because, like, I love that. I am a paranoid android. I refuse to sign up for iPhones. Y'all crave acceptance so badly that you have literally convinced yourselves that those pieces of crap are worth $1,300? The fuck? Yeah. I've definitely been in the throes of total paranoia. Holy fuck. That was the nicest thing anybody could have ever said because I am extremely self-aware to the point where it's actually bothersome because nobody does get the chance to call me out because I fucking say it myself. That's half joking. I'm sure people could still talk their shit, but fuck, man, I have been paranoid. It's just I'm working on the cycles of when the paranoia comes because, again, the endocrine disorder really has fucked me up. Whew, there will be more on all of this later. Later, a proverbial later, not a today later, a long-term process later. Thanks for vibing with the color changing light. I feel like it's subtle enough to not be annoying, and if I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't have even really noticed, especially because I move so damn much. But it's really fun and bisexual because it's literally pink, blue, and purple. Me too. Great talk. I'm not a super social person, and I have stage fright. This shit is perfect. Stupid good. But also I hate the internet. Absolutely fucking loathe the internet. So ready to get off the internet. So ready to be back in real life. But actually never really liked what was going on out there in the first place. Gotta build it myself. Build it, they will come. I think that's from the Bible. But also I'm not much of a builder. You know? Or an investor for that matter. And I've come to accept that you must work smarter and not harder in order to have true success. Not working yourself to death, but also living at a higher means, with a higher means. Yes, cannabis is sacred, and I agree that if I'm already paranoid, smoking weed is not gonna calm me the fuck down. If I have panic, if I'm like panicking, yes, weed will help. If I'm tripping, weed ain't gonna help. Like a gnome myself. It's so funny. But I've definitely mastered some of the paranoia, especially with acceptance. Where it's like, some of these things might be true because ultimately there is no truth. You know what I mean? There is no truth. Everything is a theory, even the things we regard as law. It's a guess, a boundary at best. And there is no ultimate ruler, decider, or creator to physically tell us the way something is or the correct answer. So it's our guess versus our guess. And we can have some really good guesses, but the fact that so many people are so closed off to these things changing or evolving, schools of thought, is almost concerning because it's like, again, there is no measure of what reality is, and who is to say that our reality hasn't changed? There is a reason that sci-fi was so popular in the late 90s. So, I'm just saying, we don't even know where we are anymore. We really don't. It doesn't make any sense sometimes. No shit. Probably shouldn't. It's a ship, most likely. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's the thing. Doesn't matter. Why not be open and receptive to what people think? Because honestly, them getting the chance to say it and to be heard might make them feel so much better that they don't even believe it anymore. They don't even care. They're like, wow, human connection. Suddenly, these things don't matter. And that was one principle I've held on to for a long, long time and more recently struggle with. The older I get, it seems, the more I struggle with it. But ever since I was a kid, I just figured if I was going to be incarnated in this planet, on this planet, that like the best part, the absolute, easiest, hands down best part was the human interaction. It was the intimacy, the touch, the feel, yeah, I get that. And a lot of people are. I'm really good at it, but also will fucking switch up and all of a sudden want to kill you. But, you know, I know when it's coming at least. It's just ain't shit I can do about it at this time. Or there's only so many things I can do, and I'm trying, I should say. Human connection, yeah, emotionally and physically and mentally, I am so about it, and I am really good at it because it's something that's always been super important to me. And so I learned how to be a very good friend, a good listener, a good student, a good child to the best of my abilities, although I do feel that in the homes when we are the most wild in a sense. But I try to always be a good kid or whatever. But it's I just wanted to get along with people because I know that I have a disagreeable side. I know how I am, and I'm often brooding and alone and deep in thought that people don't want to hear because it's this extreme shit that we're talking about now. Can you imagine, like, I'm 6 and I'm trying to have this conversation with you because I'm having these crazy nightmares where I can run away from whatever is scaring me, but I also can't stop whatever the scary part is. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So you can imagine it's annoying, and people will evolve at a certain pace over their own time. And so you can't like ask anyone to come with you, and you can't ask anyone to meet you anywhere. We do live in an extremely desensitized world, and it is extremely radical to be vulnerable, and it is so rare to truly love. And I think it just comes with the nature of poetry for me, where it's like, yeah, this shit is beautiful. You have no idea. And that's why I do what I do. And not just this, but in some of the other ways that I do. Like we were talking about my sexy magic earlier, because I just want to spread love in all forms and like show people how strong love can be, even if it is lust, even if it's attraction, you know? Yeah, you could say that. And I used to think that when I was a child as well. How the fuck old are you? I thought I had my settings to be at least 18 and up, if not 21. I'm sorry. I've been going a little too hard on the roasting the past couple days. Again, it's a cycle thing. I apologize. Sarah Paulson's a bitch. We love the actress. It's what we call this. Right, not everybody needs mushrooms is the thing. I think everybody who's going to take mushrooms will take mushrooms in their lifetime. And you can definitely, thank you, I'm glad that you're here. And you can definitely try to encourage people to find that path if you want to. I used to, but once again, it's like sweet dreaming. When I was 18, I was like, yo, everybody should just take acid at the same time and everyone will be happy. And they should just be on acid all the time. And then it's like, what a dysfunctional fucking world we would be in, right? Too many people would like it. That's the thing. That's one thing. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Because again, this is just what I think about. I share. I know these are my gifts and talents, but also sometimes it's nice to be able to just have some fucking bizarre conversation. So I, again, like to stick to the schedule, but if ain't nobody give a shit, Aquarius, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The star, nothing is much of a surprise. I feel like just because we've been talking about these dreams and shit so much, I almost do want to answer your question and tell you about the craziest dream I ever had without like saying much, but I think it's too revealing about my personal life, who I am. and my story, but also I'm working on retelling it in a way that is an amends, an apology, and a bridge building. So it's interesting that this comes full circle. I am, preface, I've been talking about this subtly, that I'm like a cycle thing and I'm a week out from Sarah Paulson Mysterious, whatever. It's PMDD. Again, if you want to look it up, you can. I'm working on writing it down and explaining it like a scientist, because at the end of the day, I am the kid who slipped through the cracks in the educational system, and I probably should be a physics professor, but instead I'm a business clown on the internet. Okay. Welcome to everybody who just showed up for that one. We have tarot cards on the table. Maybe we just take a break. Maybe we'll just take a second. Be at peace. Two swords. I got so fucking, that's hilarious. Six of Swords science. Did I not just say I was a scientist? Did I not? That's the thing when you put too much pressure on grades and you make everything so not fun. I'm glad those randos laughed. No, I'm kidding. Please, anytime anybody wants to come in, I shouldn't say shit like that. But also, we are not doing tarot, and it was like, okay. I don't like being put on the spot at all. I know I seem like someone who would want to be the center of attention. But you have to understand, someone like me just garners attention. This is not something, it is far from something I sought so much as I preoccupy myself. I am someone, if I'm bored, it's because I am stuck somewhere or something. Like in the past, I couldn't even tell you how long. I said that I was bored one time, like maybe a month ago, and then just completely changed everything about my life, because it was like, no, I should never, like, I am never bored. I am never bored. I am often relaxed. I am often resting and at peace, but oh man, boredom, so foreign to me. I really didn't get good at this shit because I wanted to do it. I do this shit because I'm good at it. You know what I mean? It was it's such a complex thing where it's like I guess I'm going back to like y'all saying you like being here, cuz like this is just who I am, and I just don't always have anywhere to go. I don't always have a crowd. And I think it works better if I make myself available and people can come to me if they want to, because as much as I can intimidate and be hard to approach, my approach towards people can also be not just aggro, but a lot. And it's not for everyone. And I've known that, in the past like 20 minutes. What did I even just say? Doesn't matter. I could talk for literal days, bro. It's nuts. It never stops. Writer, reader, other things. Muse, mystic. I almost said fortune, but still waiting on that one. What? That's cute. Cool. I'm an artist, right? And man, I have stage fright. If I was looking at people talking, totally different version of me, even if it was just the three of you, I would not be able to be going this hard. I would be so quiet and reserved. Like, I'm such a different person when I have to interact with people. The less I think people are paying attention, the more I can be like this. So, hence the stage fright. It's like all eyes on me. Oh, please pass. Please pass. Please pass. Which is ironic because it's like, what are you doing on Twitch? That, but digitally? Duh. I'm missing out on the face-to-face contact, even though I just said I love people. Yeah, I like individual interactions. So that's funny. I just randomly started pulling cards. Right, right. And I struggle with loneliness because I like people so much, and I do have a hard time maintaining relationships, and I'm not above saying that or admitting that, because I am self-aware, as we discussed earlier, because extreme paranoia will lead you to extreme awareness, especially of the self, because that is where the paranoia and the awareness start and end, right? Brilliant, beautiful, love it. This life is what you make it. But also, if you are listening to what they've made, it's like life is what they made it. Who? Ask yourself. It's a free world. Sort of. So, Yeah. Anyway. Right. Having no one to say it to. That's why sometimes we'll just stream or rant to my sweet angel boyfriend. Because it's got to come out. I am an Aquarius moon. It is some complex shit. Also, Tauruses are not known for being center of attention like Leo is, but honestly, the biggest motherfucking drama queen, desperate to be seen, motherfucking bullies in the history of time, plus the weird, freaky whomever, are Tauruses. That Aqua Moon makes me shy because the Scorpio rising is so damn sexy, cannot be stopped. Oh, if you're Aquarius, is any of the later planets is like a almost a generational thing, where everyone who is in your some time frame, you would have to look it up. So how often it changes, because Pluto's like every 10 plus years or something. So Uranus is pretty far out, where it's every like I want to say 6 years or something like that. So like it's not even that prominent of a placement. Honestly, it's more of a generational thing or a peers. Look it up. I'm not an astrologer. Tarot. But yes, all of these things. Yes, my Aquarius moon makes me very isolated. And the fact that I was born during the transition into a Pisces moon makes me very emotional. So, my Lilith is also in Aquarius, and so I've always considered that my pillar of Aquarian energy. From top to bottom, I'm Aquarius, but I think those are my only two. I have one other like minor placement. I don't know anything about the houses, but yeah, it definitely mellows out and kind of checks the Taurus Scorpio thing going on. Because if I had any other moon, man, I'd be a fucking danger to society, and I'm already pretty hazardous as it is. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. Like what? I should think more about what I say. That's why I like the cards. They keep me on track. They keep me on topic, y'all. I love fucking talking. I bet you're beautiful. Yeah, because Taurus is still very practical, and I feel like when it's not your major and it's still in your big three, it's like that loving, sensual, caring, passionate energy. But Taurus is also like that lineup, man. Everybody knows Hitler's birthday's on 420, but also like Machiavelli is a Taurus, and fucking Vladimir Lenin, not John Lennon. John Lennon's a Libra. Vladimir Lenin is a Taurus, and like that's so true. It gets completely derailed every time I pull a card. Um, it's not it's a hard, it's a tough energy. I think people forget that Taurus is the villain, because everyone thinks Gemini, for some reason, the sweetest people on the face of the fucking planet, are the villains because they stand up for themselves in like the most ineffective way. And it's like, give them a chance. They will figure it out and come back around again. I love Gemini so much. Top tier. Love them. And everyone thinks they're the villains. And Taurus is right there. Everyone thinks Scorpio's the villains. Big as fuck. They talk a big fucking game. They do talk a big game. There's no fire. There's no fire. If anyone was more villainous than Taurus, I would give it to Aries, but they are so chaotic evil that it's like you don't even realize it because they just are messing everything up around you, and then it's like, haha, yeah, I did that. And it's like, whoa. Whereas Taurus comes in fucking hot. Jim Jones, also a Taurus. And the other one, the Heaven's Gate guy, Marshall, also a Taurus. It's creepy. But then also when you see like the artists that are Taurus, it's like Salvador Dali, absolute motherfucking weirdo. And he had like several Taurus placements. Several. Same with Kanye. He's a Gemini, but if you look at Kanye's chart, I swear on life, he's a Taurus basically. Like he has more major Taurus placements than any chart I have ever seen in my life. For being a Gemini, no wonder he's like that. You know? Taurus is easily the villain. But still ruled by Venus, so ultimately chooses love, but that's a Taurus without love. Even John Waters is like a fucking weirdo. Like, he's cool as fuck, and I love John Waters, and I was so honored to find out he's a Taurus. Same with David Byrne. But you see how far out and weird, and everybody thinks Aquarius is so weird. Taurus is like the most underestimated of the stereotypes. I mean, like, they're lazy couch potatoes that like to fucking, you know, yeah, it can be very like that. I get that. I just, oh man, my little gems. I think the Gemini Taurus combo is actually one of the best. And everybody's like, Taurus Cancer, Taurus Pisces. I'm like, get your crybaby ass out of my fucking face. I want some oomph, not some, move on. Not a fan, really. I love Geminis. Classic Gemini Taurus duo, none other than Noel Fielding and Matt Berry. And we love Matt Berry. The fact that Matt Berry is a Taurus, honestly, not fair for anyone else. Love him. Chaotic good for sure. Me and my partner, also great Gemini Taurus combo. There are others. I think Lizzo and Chris Evans could have been, but they're not. They weren't. They probably never will. It's a good combo. It's underrated. I'm just saying. That's probably why she likes you. Her Gemini moon is very attracted to your Taurus rising. There's something about it where Taurus is just so like, yeah, I don't think Gemini and Cancer is the best choice. I won't even lie to you on that. But like sometimes you have to do these things, right? Isn't that what we talked about, to clear karma and change our minds and to have new perspectives and stuff? I'm dying for another minute, obviously, but I think any Gemini moon is indecisive. My bestie of all time, lover more than life, literally would die for her. Still, the Gemini moon drives me nuts. The indecisiveness, the back and forthiness, and oh, my niece also Gemini moon. So it's probably not even the Cancer sun, it's just the Gemini moon. It just masses with people's heads. Yeah. It is kind of chameleon like. It's like whatever's convenient in the moment, but it's all genuine because they're just rotating through so much all at once. It's like, okay, hear me out. Let's imagine moons. Okay, so what we know about moon signs, just so we let everybody clear, especially if somebody's about to fucking watch this rerun, I would be impressed. If you get this far, please message me. And I'd love to laugh in your face. Kidding. But anyways, moon sign is sort of like, it's not the ultimate ruler of who you are, but it is sort of the decision maker. Okay, so the sun is the most presence about you, the routine or the daily, right? But the moon is like the, okay, fair, turning it on the self, but the moon is like the ultimate decider and the rule, the will and rule within, right? So it's like not who you are at the end of the day, but who you are on the inside. And then rising, of course, is how you present it, how you package it, and how you push it, right? How you want people to see you. So when you see something like a Gemini moon, or let's start with Aquarius moon because it's my moon, so I'll talk that first. I see Aquarius moon as a low sitting, fixed, full white with a purple or a glowing moon. And that's my Aquarius moon. But if I were to picture a Gemini moon, I picture it more central, bigger, darker around, but still glowing, but spinning. I see the Gemini moon spinning, 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 whereas mine is sitting above me, crowning me, helping me, guiding me, making these decisions soundly, because I have fixed, Aquarius is fixed energy. But the Gemini moon is constantly rotating, changing. The tides are shifting around it. Like you said, the Cancer sun, bad placement, right? Because Cancer is water. Not bad, but difficult. It's not bad. I've been calling people out on their language when they say, oh, I'm the worst. It's like, no, you're not the worst. You're just the most difficult. Or like, I'm stupid. Like, you're not stupid. You just didn't know that. It's not a big deal. So it's not a bad placement, but it is a difficult one. I will give you that because, and I think Cancer is actually ruled by the moon. So for stable cardinal nurturing Cancer to have to deal with rotating, polarizing Gemini, I could see a lot of disagreement within the self rather than arguments with someone else, right? But then you have like a Pisces moon. I see like a body of water and the moon like on the horizon, and you can see the reflection. So it's like half moon, half reflection of the moon, and it's just like within, right in here. That's a Pisces moon. That feels good, but I still resonate more with the Aquarius moon. I am just allowed to go to the Pisces moon spot, I think, because again, born during the transition. What's your moon sign? Let's picture it. I can't remember what you said. I'm not going to scroll up. Anybody who wants to say it. I'm just like intuitive. Or should I just go through the whole thing? And Aries moon is literally just on fire. It's like fire everywhere, and there's a moon, but it's just fire. I can't even, there's nothing to picture. It's just on fire. There is no moon. Taurus moon is like a mushroom. I see like a moon that's actually growing plants, like a planet, I guess. So like the Aries fire moon is back here, but I noticed that the Taurus earth moon is like here. And then Gemini, we have it spinning here, like we said earlier. And then Cancer moon, forefront for sure, because it's like still the water, but it's above the water. So you see the whole moon kind of up high. So it's almost in front. Did I say that? Yeah, like in front. So the moon's here, the horizon is here, and then you see the full reflection of the full moon. Just like the little white glowing moon, not like a full moon, but like the full image of the moon reflected. And the Leo moon. I just see a lion. I don't even see a Leo. I don't even see a moon. What is with the fire signs? You goofballs. No moon. They're just like, no, that's not my energy. That's not my inner thing. So the Leo is just the lion. What's next? Virgo moon. Huge. Huge. Just like zoomed in, gigantic, full, but still that white shining moon. That's a Virgo moon. It's like in the face, in the mouth, in this whole, and just like the dark border, but like all moon. Libra moon, harvest. It's the harvest moon for sure, for sure. I don't even really know when it was, but also my partner is a Sag moon, so it was exciting. Yeah, Libra is just that moon over the fucking wheat fields during harvest at night. There's stars, there's whatever. Scorpio moon, blood red. Full, kind of like the Virgo moon. Big, zoomed in, but it's red. It's a red moon. And then Sagittarius, just not even it. It's the man on the moon. The fucking archer on the moon. It's just that REM song playing in the background. It's not even a real moon. If you believe they put a man on the moon. I thought REM was cool in high school, and then I got older and was like, this is not really that good at all. Those Sagittarius. Yep. Capricorn. Cap moon. It's cold. It's like space. It's like being on the moon. Like moon's beneath you. Like you're sitting on the moon and it's cold because you're in fucking space. Cap moon. Aquarius moon. That's how we started. Right here, glowing with the purple aura in the dark, but it's like radiant and powerful, but only for you. It's like going straight to within. And then Pisces moon we also did already. That was really, really fucking cute of me to channel and picture what everybody's moon signs look like. I really liked that. You felt your Mars placement more than anything else, but also were you just feeling the need to fight more than anything else, because that is big Sagittarius energy, I think. Feistiness. My mom was a Sagittarius, and homie used to scrap, like as a child. I probably shouldn't have said that, but like it's true. Sag is feisty, you know, or super sweet, or both. So the fact that you were like, you were in touch with Mars, not your Mars sign. You know what I mean? Actually, is that Sag's ruling planet? I don't really know. I was actually having a discussion about that today and couldn't fucking remember most. I only know that Taurus and Libra are ruled by Venus. You know? LOL, sorry if you feel called out by that. My dad is an Aries, so you can imagine it was always war. It's fire signs, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's fire signs. I don't have a ton of them in my life. Like as friends, especially lately it seems. But if I did, I do love a Sag. Probably Sag, Leo, Aries for me, honestly, overall. But there are certain exceptions to every rule, I suppose. I'm having fun. I'm also kind of hungry. So kind of want to snack. I also don't know what time it is. I also kind of want to know who's ruling planets are whose. This pipe is a little bubbler, dude. And somebody bought it on the internet for $4.20 for me. There you go. It was a Gemini, actually. See? Big sweeties. Big fucking sweeties. No, it's not wood. It is definitely just dirty ass glass, brethren. Yeah, it's dirty, dirty glass. I'm sorry for my gendered expressions. I use bro so much that I adapted to using brethren because at least it's funny. It's really tacky, bro. You sound like Hulk Hogan. Alright, if it's just you and I at this point, sometimes my view count is lying to me. It's told me there was one person and then 3 people will start talking, so it's hard to say. What's the vibe here? I've been going for almost 3 hours. I feel like, if anything, I'm gonna take a quick break if y'all wanna just keep vibing. Oh, we just got someone. Your name is tripping me out. Yeah, gray, yay. Yay, a gray eye. Yay, a gray eye. I love whatever you just said. I'm reading it over and over again to make sure that I really understand it. Sometimes I find people question my decisions, but at the end of the day, it's so the night can call to the day so the moon can talk to the sun. That's really cute. That's like really cute. I've recently found an old school portable vaporizer that you actually put weed into, and that's all I want to do anymore is just back to vapor waves. Hoses, tubes, you know what I mean? If you're there, you're there. What is your moon sign? Is that what that was in reference to? This little bit about the moon? Because that's really sweet, and I'm wondering if you are a Gemini moon or something else. If you even know your moon sign. I love how I was about to take a break and then a bunch of people showed up, which is really cute. The Magis, it's fake though. They're all about to dip out. No, I'm just kidding. um, what a not amazing. Is this, are you just sharing that it's 4:20 because I'm about to hit this? Or is it because the messages are delayed and you're just now answering the question of I don't know what time it is? You know what I mean? Will challenge the fuck out of that. So, yeah, fam. What? I don't know. I told you. What are you talking about? We had this whole conversation. Sagittarius moon. Okay, Virgo. Are you my? That's adorable. My partner is a Sag moon and Virgo rising also. So I love that, and I bet you're beautiful, beautiful, and maybe blonde. Maybe choosing even to be blonde, if not natural. What's the vibe? I watched Rent today because it's one of my favorite fucking musicals. For once, completion. Okay, y'all, I am really having fun, but look, I gotta like fuel up if we're gonna keep going. I'm down. I fucking plan for this shit. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta give me 1 minute. Oh, I love that for you. Can I take, I don't want to end this conversation. I'm gonna make a water run. All right, y'all? Are you still gonna be here? Oh, I'll BRB. Hopefully you're still here to chat with me. hello. I feel like everyone's like, nah, it's fucking late. I'm not about to stick around. Kidding. Oh, you are still here. Hi. Sagittarius, Moon, Pluto, and Chiron. Sagittarius, Chiron, I bet is a very interesting placement. So Cancer, Mercury, and Mars. Wow, polarizing. You have the water cardinal sign versus the mutable fire sign. You must have a hard time making decisions. I feel like the matches came up when you entered the chat. I feel like you're dealing with someone who might be lying to you. I'm not gonna front right now. The magic represents fake magic, and honestly, if it was you, I would be able to tell. I think you are dealing with someone who is either lying about their experience with magic. If you have recently came across a practitioner or started working with a practitioner, they are lying to you. It's fake. Or if you are dealing with someone like with business or romantically, you'd have to be able to discern who the person is. But there's someone around you who is like deceiving you. Okay, so just be wary because I feel like all those Cancer placements are so empathetic. And those Sagittarius placements are so heroic. That is what makes it a dangerous combo. I think maybe you just often fall for the fake magic. Because why? How could you not live life to the fullest and the bravest and the brightest? I get that. Very noble qualities, but that's just a huge warning. This is interesting. We were doing love readings earlier. Hanged Man, once again, Nine of Wands, Strength. So I don't want to say this is specifically a love reading because when it comes to this deck, I try to keep it pretty clear. But I will say, for you, it's not the person you're romantically involved with that is deceiving you, because this is the universal hexagram. This is divine femme, divine mass coming together in divine union, which obviously you were here earlier. If you're still here now, we've been doing that conversation all fucking night. So how appropriate that it would show up. This person is not the one deceiving. Like your part, if you have a partner or if there's someone that you like really want to be with, it's real. That's real. But there's something else that is clouding. The magic came up, and now the Hanged Man. So you are dedicated, and this is not a personal reading for you. This is still general reading. I feel like we have been talking for the past like hour probably, and I'm just now picking the cards up, and you're here, so I think you can take it as a very special message. And at this point, I don't think anybody's gonna really watch. I don't really know what Twitch is like. I'm new here, not hip to all of it. I feel like nobody's gonna get through this whole ass video on a rewatch, so it's pretty damn personal. And if you do, it's damn personal for you too. So we have the Nine of Wands, Strength, and we have the Hanged Man, right? I just split the deck. It's almost like going in two different directions, and that's been kind of a running theme, is like the non-cooperating sort of polarizing energies within a person or people, because we've talked, like I said many times tonight. So we've got the Hangman, the fixed energy, the martyr, right, the heroic one, and the Nine of Wands, Strength, always having to have your guard up, always trying to push back, because with great strength comes great resilience, right? Whatever. We got the Prince of Swords, so somebody's coming in to fuck shit up. Could be a kid, could be an air sign, could be like just like a hiccup, little, some kind of like accident, emergency, like a cost thing, just something to kind of come along and ruin your day a little bit. It could be a person though, like a very immature person, because it's a prince. And it's not a cup, so it's not necessarily a child unless you have an air sign child or a rebel rouser, you know. Four of Swords, truce. Coming to terms with that energy, whatever it is. Ooh, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last. It's slowing down around here anyways. Making peace with that sort of energy. And then we have the Princess of Discs, so going back to finances, going back to investments, maybe even investing in the self. But really, when I see the discs, that's all money in this deck. It's not as much with the love deck, but since this is situational, we are also talking about our money. We're not just talking about our romantic shit. So when I see the Princess of Discs, that is an investment. That is a financial investment. You might be dealing with some other stuff and trying to figure out if you could trust such and whatever. That's so funny, of course. Like, happy Friday. It's a good time to invest. And what I'm going to tell you right now, please do not get offended. You are a water sign, it could be anything. But this Seven of Cups, that's alcohol. Do not blow this paycheck on alcohol. That is what this message is. Debauch is to do something in excess, and way back in the day, in like medieval times, it was debauchery is when somebody from your own side crossed you. But because it's cups and it's excess, I think of alcohol. So this is very much a warning to make an investment instead of overdoing it. And that's the balance. That's so Sagittarius placements want to go so hard all the time. And those Cancer placements just want to do what's right. Yeah. Invest wisely instead of just spending money. Dude, Sagittarius have a hard time holding on to money, so it's funny that you just said that because that is so Sagittarius energy coursing through your veins. But the Magician. You know that you're building this life. You know that you're going in a certain direction. You know that your magic is real, even if you are dealing with someone who is somewhat deceitful. We have the Lovers here, which could be a Gemini. Again, in the beginning, it was the Swords is air energy, so could be dealing with Gemini. The Magician can often be associated with Gemini energy as well, just the flow of air and magic. You know what I mean? But the Lovers is also about making a decision and can also represent an actual romantic relationship. These cards look so fucking cool in this lighting. Oh my god. And then at the end of it all, Strife. Damn. Five of Wands, emotional flatline. So no matter what road you go down, if it's conflict, if it's smooth, if it's anything, yeah, it probably is. If that's what you resonate with, it's probably weed. And maybe someone else will get the message of alcohol, but also just because you're a water sign, it would show up in that way instead of some of the other things. Like it could have been Nine of Swords if it was a habit thing, or even the Devil. But because you're a water sign, I would still heed it. Where yeah, you got to learn to budget, have some restraint, control yourself. I feel like that was just looking at a card. Air energy? Oh, because we gotta do this part. Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck, even though I just shuffled it. That's kind of cool. Yes, in the end, it's like put in all that work. Surprise, Aquarius energy. Ooh, the Tower. So if there's an Aquarius, I feel like there's some kind of air energy in this, and it is Gemini season, so it could be something that's unfolding currently. But if there's an Aquarius in your life, they're about to fucking go through some shit. But also you might start noticing things coming down around you. And it does take you off guard and come as a surprise. So I guess take this as your, heed this your other warning. Things may start to look funny. And they certainly will start to feel funny. And suddenly you won't know where the fuck you even are. I guess that's like the last one that you do. Close the door. Close the door when you go. That's what they say. So, about this divine union, you know, if you are currently not with someone, you fucking know who it is. Fucking High Priestess paired with this Unicrystal Hexagram, you know who your person is. If you are or not with them. If you're with someone, or you think about someone, like, you know which one is the divine connection, which one is the one you're meant to be in union with. 10 of Cups, and you want to have it all. You want that love. You want to feel that satiety, you know, because it's such an insatiable need for love when you are actually seeking a specific person, whether it's from a soul level or from a conscious level, where you feel like you are never satisfied with anyone or anything. Yeah, you know that this is your person and you are going to have it all. They will, it's not that they will give it to you, but together and in this piece of knowing, you will have it all. The next thing, heed this warning. I don't know why that's weird, goofy voices with you. Are you in it? I'm in the U.S. and I keep doing it. Sometimes when I'm channeling, I do accents and stuff. Sometimes when I'm not channeling, just if I watch too much British television, stuff like that, I tend to imitate people's voices, even if it's not an accent. Uh, but it seems to keep coming up this weird accent. Not weird, just non-specific coming out of my mouth, and I'm wondering if you or your person. You said semester of college. I don't know. It and maybe put two and two together. Eight of Wands, swiftness. This is kind of like, okay, lots of emotions going on, going in all different directions, but also acting fast on the way you're feeling, basically, like going for it. And then art, this is the Sagittarius card. You're really in control now. And we just had that Sagittarius full moon, so we're feeling that energy. Not necessarily prideful, but just putting your best foot forward and doing it whole. And it's art or temperance in most decks. So taking breaks, tea breaks, sobriety, but also creating, right? Queen of Swords, more air energy. Might really be dealing with an air sign, or maybe you are an air sign. But that Queen of Swords, she's made her decisions. She's done. She's good. She's up where she needs to be. She is elevated. She is working. She is holding the head of her enemies. This Queen of Swords energy is okay by me, right? And then 3 discs works, whatever works. Maybe it's 3 streams of income, 3 people in the family, 3 legs on a table, 3 plates on a stove, like whatever it is, you've got that going. There is a nice flow, and it will most likely lead to very abundant times. If you can maintain these 3 discs, you will suddenly have 5. You may feel overwhelmed, but you get one more, and all of a sudden, it's everything that you wanted. Feel that? I'm friends with a lot of my exes. But you know which one you have to be with. So even in the face of temptation, even while life is testing you by sending you an ex who might still be interested in you and someone you still genuinely care about, it's like, do you still like what you got going on? Is that still what you choose? Yeah, you probably heading towards fucking parenthood. Y'all probably about to have a child, or maybe you have a child with the ex. I don't know. Some kind of living situation. Maybe the ex has a child. I don't know. Hermit, Virgo, looking within for the answers. And did I not just say that it would lead to a period of abundance, and then the 3 of Cups shows up and it's abundance? Passing the test. Knowledge. Ace of Swords coming in hot. Knowing in your heart of hearts what you got. And 4 of Discs, power. Seated in a throne, nice and balanced, enriched, lively, loving, amazing. But honestly, I'm 3 hours into this and did 20 minutes before that. I think I got to call in a night. Once I started cracking out the tarot cards, I got a lot more tired, a lot faster, because it is very late in the midnight morning. I love that. The Eon is judgment. Okay. There might be a little backlash for you talking to whoever, or maybe the dynamic of your relationship is something that you go away to school and all of a sudden, like, if you guys are 2 different something, like religion or race or something, and people start talking about it, and it's something that never crossed your mind, brace yourself for that kind of judgment and just be secure in your own skin and self and relationship. Ace of Sword again, and then these 3. So these are the future cards. This is where we're going to leave off on. 3 future cards are face down, about to be revealed. What? How does this resolve? Where is this going? What is it doing? I'm sensing a child for some, but Prince of Wands can be very immature, very fuckboy energy, but at the same time, the Prince of Cups already came up. And I just said, like, where is this going? And it's like, yeah, you could definitely create something together, have maybe even find an emotional journey to start the process of healing with one another, if not actually adding on to the family kind of thing. Ace of Cups, fulfillment, having a new perspective, shifting the way that you think so that you can be happier and more accommodating. And Knight of Swords. We had the Queen of Swords. We got the Knight of Swords. That air energy once again. Gemini season treating us pretty well. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Wands, strength again. So putting effort in, putting in work, being the hardworking person you need to be. That's the Swords energy, is like really doing the work and putting in the effort, being methodical, while also being free flow, you know? Queen of Wands, mastering our emotions, getting in touch with our deepest, darkest desires, bringing them to light and honoring them. Knight of Cups, paternal energy, father energy, father figure, or making someone a father, so to speak. 2 discs change, 9 of discs gain. Remember, change brings gain. Love that. I bid you adieu. This was such a fun, successful night for me. I absolutely loved it. I am just too sleepy to keep going. I must get my beauty rest, for I am beautiful from the moment I lay down until the moment I wake up, and all of the moments between, except for maybe in my sleep, because we know that I lucid dream, and I can't imagine how that looks, really. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got your messages. If you missed any part of the stream, you can always go back and watch from the beginning. It'll be up. I love you so much. Thank you, and have a great night. And I hope I'll see you next time, which could be tonight. Plan to be, will be. Ta-ta.